Okay, so what's the advantage of this change that we've made? The advantage is this: number one, it's very easy to change the blog API URL. It's very easy to change the blog API token, and it's also very easy to add. Let's say tomorrow they added a new authentication header and they called it, like, say, S API key. All right, so you could be able to just add more headers as you want, as you know, as necessary, without having to touch your controllers. But even at this implementation, this is still hard coded into this controller, because we have get post, we have get this. So this is not something that you want on a real life, you know, on a project. Because if, for instance, you stopped using this API service, chances are excellent that you would also have to rewrite your controllers, and trust me, you don't want to do that. Most times it is very good that you separate you abstract away your API such that it is not called in the controllers like this. It is abstracted away from the complete implementation of your project. I'm going to create a provider. Right, so we have a new provider called the post service provider, and I'm going to store everything that has to do with this. Just follow me, and I need to register this provider in my app kernel, I think, configure. Sorry, good. So my providers array, I need to keep this new provider that I just registered, and I'm just going to put it on the, sorry about that, post service provider. So over here, I'm going to take away this stuff that I have here, the whole of this method particularly, and I'm going to put it in my, just so I know this, my post service provider. Alright, so I just need to import this and we're good. So I get back to app service provider and I remove this. So now let me just make sure that everything still works. Good. So now the first thing first is I'm going to create. Okay, this is the way I do. I know it's not best practice. I don't know if it's best practice. There is no rule or regulation on how to structure your application. I'm going to create another folder in my app folder called modules. This is where I'm going to put different services, right? Then modules. So then I'm going to create, say, a post service. Then inside this, I'm going to have, let's say, post service with PHP. Okay, so now this particular implementation is going to serve as our abstraction, and so let me just define this. Alright, so now we have post service class. Then first thing, so what are the methods that I want to expose to my classes? We have first function get posts, then we have another function get users or get user. Alright, so this is it. This is going to return an array. This is going to return an array. I'm going to show you how we're going to change the whole stuff. Don't worry, just follow me gradually. Okay, so let me just so every so we're going to have something now. Let's say this is what we have, and let me go back to my block controller. So I'm going to copy this out of here. I'm going to copy this out of here, right? And then in my post service, let me close up this, guys. in my post service class, then I'm going to do this here. Okay, and also I'll copy this too. Then in my post service, I'll return this. Just follow me carefully, we're not done yet. So that means for me to make use of this function, I'm going to have to do something like this: response equal to post service. Sorry, I made a mistake here. I didn't define the namespace, so let's just do that. Modules. Yeah. So over here, I'm going to do my post service get user, and trust me, I need to pass in this ID. So let me go back here, get user int ID, and then let me import this facade. Then we're good. Get user this away, return response. Sorry, I need to just do this here. Just copy this, paste this here. So you have post service get user ID. Okay, so this is, I can't even do this, so let me show you something now. New post service, this. Okay, let's do this. Let's paste it here. Get post. All right. So let me run my test, make sure everything works. Oh, there's a failure where post service is not found. Okay, so I'm going to have to import this. Post service is not found. So let me go to post service. Okay, generate namespace. Service. Notice import. Okay, so we have a different error. Thank God. Call the member function JSON on array. Oh, I see. So just return this. Return this. Okay, so I think that's all. Yeah, passed. All right. So now we have our test still working. So we have our post service now that has everything. So, but even at that, you know, let's say now, for example, this particular post service, I'm using an adapter and I'm using a particular endpoint, say the JSON placeholder endpoint. Say for instance, tomorrow there's a need to integrate another third-party service that has different endpoints. So hard coding this is not really an ideal way. So I have to start changing this, you know, and it doesn't really make so much sense. So I'm going to be removing the whole of this.